Let's keep joining. Tonight we'll be looking at how you can recognize your spiritual gift. You know, so many of us have this gift, a lot of us, but up till today, majority are still wondering how they can recognize their gift, even though they are seeing so many things happening in their lives, they are seeing a lot of things going on, but they are really not sure. Majority do not pay attention, to know if they actually have this spiritual gift. But only those around them will be able to tell the things happening around them. So tonight we are going to be looking at you recognizing your spiritual gift. So I have just a little things that I just jotted down so that I do not forget. Recognizing your gift. How do you know that you are spiritually gifted? How do you know that you have spiritual gifts? So the number one that I want us to look at is through your thoughts that comes to pass. Your thoughts, what you always have in your mind, what you always think of. Most of the times when you are all alone, you'll be thinking about so many things, but there are some other things that your mind will be specific on. Let's use this as an example. You may be thinking about your sibling whom you haven't seen for a long time. Thinking about where your sibling called you on the phone and told you that he or she will be coming back. And after that thought, before that day runs out or the following day, you receive a call from that your sibling telling you that he or she is coming back. Such thoughts are not just coincidence. They are not telepathy, like people always say, telepathy. When such happens around you every now and then, know that you have a spiritual gift. That is your thoughts coming to pass. Your thoughts coming to pass. Anything you think of, no matter how good it is, no matter how bad it is, even if you are thinking about something bad happening to you or happening to your loved one or happening to your enemy, before you know it, exactly what you had in mind will come to pass, either to you or to your loved one or to that your enemy. If you have ever noticed such in your life, it doesn't happen once, but it keeps on repeating every now and then. If you have ever noticed it, bear in mind that you are spiritually gifted. You have a spiritual gift. Now, how are you going to do this? Since you have noticed that your thoughts always comes to pass, you will have to be positive. You have to be positive with your thoughts. Stop thinking about negative things, except when you are thinking about someone who has hurt you so badly. But even at that, you do not have to think of something so bad happening to such people. Okay? You will have to learn how to channel your mind positively, thinking about something good happening in your life, happening in the lives of your loved one. And let this you have to be serious when you are thinking about all these good things, because they must surely come to pass. When you are thinking about them, your inner spirit is reading your mind. Your inner spirit is seeing your mind, not actually what you say with your mouth most of the times. Most of the times, our hearts speak louder than our words. Yes, we will say something, but deep inside our heart, we mean a different thing. The heart is actually what the spirit is interested in. That thing you have in your heart. That is why a lot of people, you may hurt them so much, they will not say anything. They will not confront you. They will not report you to anybody. But their soul will be so bitter. Their soul will be so angry. Their spirit will not rest. Now, when it comes to this stage, anything they have in mind against you must surely come to pass if they are spiritually gifted that way. Anything they have in mind against you, because their spirit is actually looking at their heart, reading their hearts, not necessarily what they say with their mouth. Yes, I know that there is power in spoken words, yes, but most of the times, your heart speaks louder than your word. Your heart says the exact thing that you really want more than that one that you are proclaiming with your mouth. So, you recognizing your gift through your thoughts is one of the ways you will know that you are spiritually gifted. What you have in mind finally coming to pass. And it doesn't take time, no matter what it is. As long as you have that thing in mind consistently, it comes to your mind every now and then. It must surely come to pass. So, the best thing for you to do is to learn how to channel your thoughts towards the positive side and stay away from everything negativity. So, now the second one is all about prayer. Now, this one, everybody is aware of this. It is no longer new that when you pray, your prayer must be answered. It is a must. It is a must. If you don't see the answer today, you are going to see that answer tomorrow. If you don't see that answer this month, you are going to see that answer next month. But whenever you pray, your prayer must be answered. Anything you ask of, anything you pray to God on, for God to hear you and do this thing for you, God must surely do that for you. The time frame depends on God. When God will do it depends on Him this time around, not really you. But whenever you pray, God will surely answer. And when you see people like this, it is not good to look for their problem. It is not good to hurt them. Anybody that prays and shakes heaven, anybody that prays and heaven opens, it is not good to look for people's problem, those who are gifted this way. Because when such people pray, they actually do not pray with their mouths. They will be praying with their mouths, you'll be hearing them, but their heart is saying a different thing. Their heart is going straight to God. They are actually pouring out their heart to God, even though you will hear them saying something in form of prayer, but their heart will be saying a different thing. So whenever you notice in your life that whatsoever you ask of from God, He does it for you. Either He does it immediately or later. But when you check your lifestyle and you notice that for everything that you have asked so far, that God has granted you that request, He has answered you, then you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that you are spiritually gifted. So, of course, you have to know how to handle your gift when it comes to this way. Now, another one is whenever you are in pains, heaven answers. People who have this type of gift are very dangerous. People who have this type of gift, whenever you are in pains, you may not say a word. Your tears is a treasure unto heaven. Your tears speaks a lot. Your heart tells a lot. You may not say anything, but for you to be silent in tears, in pains, and thinking about what has happened, such people are dangerous. If you have ever noticed this in your life, my advice is be very careful with everybody around you. If you have this type of thing happening in your life, be very careful with people around you. Yes, it is better for you to approach someone who has hurt you, trash it out with that person. And after that, nothing will happen. But if you refuse to trash it out with the person and you decide to bottle it up in your heart, and every now and then you are thinking about this, and you are in pains whenever you think about this, it is going to cause a lot of problem for that person. So if something like this is always happening to you, you have that spiritual gift. Most of the times, for people who always experience this, it is your guardian angel that is actually at work. If you experience that when somebody hurts you and you have chosen to remain silent without confronting the person, but without letting go. You are thinking about that thing every now and then. And before you know it, the person will keep on having one problem or another. If you have ever noticed this, it is your guardian angel that is at work. I have given us a teaching on guardian angels and how they operate. Yes, this is one of the ways that they operate. Your guardian angel actually do not need you to, like say everything you want every now and then. Most especially the warrior angels. That is what I call them. The warrior angels. The warrior angels do not need your permission for them to act on your behalf. They do not need your permission because they know what is right for you. They know the good side, they know the bad side, they know how to help you. Waiting for you to give them that command can take eternity. So they know the best for you. And most of the times, they look at our hearts. Whatsoever your heart says is what they carry out, not actually what you say with your mouth. Anything your heart says is what they carry out. Among us human beings, you will find these angels always around those, not only those who are spiritually gifted this time around, but most of the times, those who are vulnerable to such problems. These are the people that God will position such angels to stand with them. If you are a married woman and maybe your spouse is treating you bad, neglects you, doesn't recognize you as a wife, sees you as a furniture in the house, cheats on you, does a lot of things to break your heart, and upon that, you are still in that marriage. You still value the man. You still pray for the man to repent. You still go out of your way to make your house accommodating for the man. Your body is saying a different thing. Your heart is actually crying. Your heart is in tears. And it is that your heart that the Holy Spirit, that your guardian angel is looking at. Your heart is telling your guardian angel a different thing altogether. Meanwhile, your body language is saying a different thing. And it is in that your heart that your guardian angel will pick up the assignment. And that is why a lot of men, a lot of married men are in shambles. Their lives are just upside down without knowing where the problem is coming from. And when you go from here to there, they will tell you your village people, they will tell you your neighbor, they will tell you your friend. Meanwhile, it is nobody. It is the guardian angel of your spouse that is actually after you. They will not take your life because you're a spouse to someone that they are protecting. They will not take your life, but they will make your life miserable and uncomfortable for you. And the only solution to this problem is for you to change. It is not just only the women that are being maltreated, men are equally being maltreated. And if you're a woman and you happen to be a spouse to a man who has this angel as his guardian angel, the moment you start misbehaving, giving this man headache, making him uncomfortable in his life, you are going to see how your life will turn upside down. Before you know it, the whole community will be against you. You didn't insult anybody. You didn't treat anybody bad except your spouse, but the community will be against you for no reason. So if you have this type of guardian angel around you, I always advise people, those who have it, before you think of anything negative, always think twice. Think twice. When that pain is too much in your heart, call your spouse, trash it out with your spouse. It is better. Trash it out with your spouse. If you refuse to trash it out, you bottle up everything in your heart, and your heart is bitter, your heart is in pains. Your guardian angel will carry out that assignment you are giving to him from your heart. Your heart is actually instructing your guardian angel, not necessarily your mouth or your actions. So for those who are always in pains, and whenever you are in pains, whoever that causes that pain upon you will suffer. If something like this has been going on in your life and you have noticed it every now and then know that you have a spiritual gift. You have a spiritual gift. So when you notice this, you will have to pray. become prayerful enough so that you will get connected to that your guardian angel. You get connected to your guardian angel, because your gift doesn't end there. It is not just only when you are in pain and then your guardian angel will act. No, your gift doesn't end there. When you get connected to your guardian angel, you're going to see a lot more, a lot of positive things happening in your life. So now we are going to be looking at whatever you see for the first time becomes a reality. I'm going to explain this thoroughly. Whatever you see for the first time becomes a reality. Now, what I mean by this is, you may see your fellow human being for the first time. You have never come in contact with this person. You are just seeing this person for the first time, but looking at that person's face, instead of seeing the face of a human being, you are seeing something else. You are not seeing a human being at all. You are seeing something else. But when you clean your eyes or you remove your eyes and try to look at the person a second time, you will now see a human being. Now I want to tell you, that thing you saw the first time is actually the reality. It is actually real. The second one is kind of confusing you. You are now trying to inquire. You are now trying to, prove that what you saw the first time was false. No. Whatsoever you see the first time, the way you saw it is exactly the way it is. This is just like, let me use this story in the Bible as an example. When the apostles saw Jesus inside a boat in a sea, and they wanted to come to Jesus, but they were too scared because the storm was raging. And then Peter, boldly enough, spoke out and asked Jesus to command him to come over. And Jesus asked him to come. Peter started walking on the sea. He was walking on the sea because he was looking straight to Jesus. And looking straight to Jesus, he is seeing his master. He is seeing that mysterious man. He is seeing that powerful man. And that was the reason why he was walking on the sea. But the moment he decided to look at the sea and then turn to Jesus, he started sinking. He started sinking. Because looking at that sea is that spirit of doubt. You are doubting what you have seen at the first time. And that was why a lot of us, when we see something, we remove our eyes, wipe our face, and then look again. When you look again, you will no longer see that thing. Yes, because you doubted it. But whatsoever you see the first time, exactly the way you saw it, that is exactly how it is. So many of us are gifted this way, and that is the gift to see. But because we haven't recognized it, because we don't know how to use it, we doubt it. We doubt it. I'm going to give us an example of this, which happened to me. It happened a long time ago. That was in the year 2004, when I didn't know anything about myself. I didn't know. I was still in school then, but I was newly married with my first child, the child that I gave birth to that first time, a baby boy. And so on a particular day, this child fell sick, and I took the child to hospital, and the child was placed on medication, and then we came back home. But the medication wasn't helping because the child wasn't getting better. And so on a Sunday morning on that particular day, after breastfeeding the child, because the child was 6 months old that time, after breastfeeding him, I placed him inside the baby walker so that he will be moving around with that walker while I went inside the bedroom to take my bath. So while I was inside the bedroom, the child was walking around, searching for me, crying at the same time. And so my mother called on me and asked me to hurry up and come out and carry him. So I had to hurry up. And the moment I came out, my baby was standing in front of the bedroom door because he heard my voice. So the moment I opened the bedroom door and came out, what I saw was a skeleton and not my baby. And I shouted, Jesus. And everybody asked me what the problem was. I told them that I came out from the bedroom, what I saw was a skeleton and not my baby. So everybody just shouted back at me that I'm not supposed to say such a thing, this and that. But then I didn't realize that what I was supposed to do was to pray to cancel that. No, I didn't pray. And before the day runs out, the baby became seriously sick that I had to rush back to the hospital, and the baby died that day. I never knew that that was a sign given unto me. But something like that repeated again with my colleague who was seriously sick. That was in 2017. that I visited at the hospital. And the moment I walked into the hospital room where she was staying, I saw a skeleton lying down on the bed. I still shouted the same Jesus. She jumped up and asked me what the problem was. I told her no, that I was feeling dizzy. And then I held her hands and we started praying. And I canceled that spirit of death. And she didn't die anymore because she was supposed to go in again for a second surgery. But the surgery was cancelled because after the ultrasound that was carried out that day, the doctors couldn't find the problem anymore, and so they had to discharge her. She didn't die. So whatsoever you see the first time when you look at something, maybe you are looking at a paper, a blank sheet of paper, and you saw figures written on that paper. Meanwhile, you know that you are holding a blank sheet of paper, but looking at that paper, you saw figures. Anything you see that first time is real. It is not fake. And that is actually the gift to see. So whenever you see something like this, it is left for you to know if you are to cancel that or if you are to welcome that. If it's something good, then you have to pray and welcome it. If it's something bad, you pray and cancel it. So this is part of spiritual gifts that majority of us have, but we do not know. We don't know anything about it. We know that something like this happens to us, but we don't know how to control it and how to use it. So if this thing is happening to you every now and then, know that you are spiritually gifted. Okay? And all you need to do is to stop doubting anything you see the first time. Do not doubt. Whatsoever you see the first time, do not doubt. The job is left for you to pray, to cancel it, or to welcome it. Now, we are going to be talking about you saying things unexpectedly and those things coming to pass. Saying things unexpectedly and those things coming to pass. What do I mean by this? Maybe you are discussing with your friends or discussing with somebody else, and all of a sudden a statement you just released a statement without knowing when you released it. It can be a good statement, it can be a bad statement. And when you release such, everybody around you will know that you say something that you are not supposed to say. And then people will ask you, what did you say? What do you mean by that? And you're trying to cover up. That is when you have come back to reality. When something like this happens to you, it is not actually you that is talking at that moment. It is your guardian angel that is talking. It is your guardian angel that is talking through you, saying the truth, saying how things are supposed to be, saying what is exactly happening as at that time. It happens to a lot of us. Majority of us, I have come in contact with people that it happens. During discussion, somebody will just say something unexpectedly. And when you ask the person, what do you mean? The person, some of them will no longer remember what they say. But you around that person, you heard everything. You knew that the person says something that he or she is not supposed to say. This thing nearly put me into trouble in the hands of my husband's family. When my father-in-law was sick and he was hospitalized, okay, and the man was receiving treatment and he was, recuperating. And so my husband and the sister were planning on how to travel to Jerusalem for pilgrimage. But they had problems with their visas and their flight tickets and whatsoever. And they were discussing about the whole problem and asking each other, what is wrong? What is actually going wrong? Why is this thing happening? We are about leaving this and that. I was there with them, but I didn't know when I said what I said that nearly caused problem for me. I didn't know when I said that their father doesn't want them to travel because he's going to die very soon. I didn't know when I said that. And both of them turned immediately and asked me, what did I say? That was when I realized what happened and what I said. And I tried to cover up, but they got angry. They got angry at me for saying such. So I had to apologize. I told them that I didn't mean that, that it was just a statement. And their father died days after. So if something like this always happens to you, you are spiritually gifted. You have a spiritual gift. You have a spiritual gift. It is left for you to develop this gift. How are you going to develop these gifts? Number one, prayer. You have to be prayerful enough. When you pray, you ask God to make it clearer, to elaborate it, to help you to understand what is happening in your life. Okay? And then whenever you are alone, you practice. Yes, you practice some of these things. You practice some of them. If it's just like, what you have in your mind coming to pass. If you have ever noticed this, once in a while, when you are on your own, alone, without anybody, start thinking of something positive happening. Let it be consistent. Always think about this, and you are going to see it happen. And if you actually want to know if the bad things do happen, but I do not pray for such for anybody, whenever you keep on thinking about the bad things, they will eventually come to pass exactly the way. And see, let me tell you, they all happen exactly the way you think them. It will not happen the other way around. They will happen exactly the way you think them. If you are thinking about this person dying in a motor accident, or you are thinking about this person blowing and becoming so rich and wealthy, it is going to happen exactly that way, not the other way around. So for those who always say things and it comes to pass, you say something unexpectedly and it comes to pass, watch your tongue. Be very careful. Mind the people you are around with. Make sure that they are those that will understand you very well, so that you don't put yourself into trouble. Now, the last that I wrote down here is you seeing random things. Seeing things, that's odd things at odd hours. Whatever you are, and all these things happens when you are alone. Remember, your spiritual gifts, most of the times, if you are spiritually gifted without knowing that you are spiritually gifted, you cannot operate in the midst of crowd. You cannot operate in a noisy environment. Most of the times, you'll be able to realize who you are in a quiet place. And that is why spiritually gifted people love staying alone. It's not that it's not their choice. It's not their making. I believe it is that spirit guiding them that is actually pushing them to always stay on their own, so that they will realize who they are and what they are and what they can do. So for those who always see random things at all hours, maybe you are all alone in the house, you know that you are all alone in the house, and then you get up to maybe go inside the bedroom or go to the kitchen, you notice somebody pass inside the same house where you are. If you have ever noticed this, and it doesn't happen once, it doesn't happen twice, it keeps on repeating every now and then. If you have ever noticed this, you are spiritually gifted. You are spiritually gifted. Like what I do whenever something like this happens to me, I will go into prayers and I will ask that being, whether you are from God or whether you are from devil, manifest, make yourself visible so that I will see you. Manifest. And they will surely manifest. Whether they are from God or whether they are from the devil's side, they will surely manifest. And when they manifest, I will now know what to do and how to handle it. So for those who always see random things every now and then, sometimes it looks as if a snake just passed. But when you look around, you will not see any snake. You are spiritually gifted. And for those of us who equally, because this one is also part of this, hearing voices. You know that you are all alone in the house. Wherever you are not with anybody. But there are times, I don't know if you have ever experienced this. It happens to me, like not all the time, more especially whenever I'm singing praises. And if I have decided to extend the time to like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it will look as if you have backup. To look as if there are people joining you in singing that praises. You'll be hearing voices, choruses, but when you shut your mouth, you no longer hear anything. When you start, you no longer hear anything. But deep inside that praises, you will start hearing voices. If you have ever experienced this, you are spiritually gifted. So you will know how to make use of your gift. First of all, you making use of your gift. Number one is you recognizing that what you are seeing is not just an ordinary thing. You will have to recognize that. Secondly, you have to be prayerful. Third, you will learn how to concentrate. Concentration matters. If you are the type that loves staying in the crowd, if you are spiritually gifted, before you know it, you will start withdrawing yourself from crowd without knowing it. But those other people will know that you are actually withdrawing from them. And that is why it looks as if those who are spiritually gifted are are snobs, that they snub people, or that they are pompous or whatsoever. It's not pomposity. It has nothing to do with that. You are not actually the one acting. It is that spirit that is guiding you, that is actually acting through you. The spirit is trying to separate you from the crowd, to teach you everything that you need to know, so that you realize the gifts in you, you realize who you are, and you realize what you can do. So these are the few things that I just jotted down, but if you have any question to ask me, please write down your questions. Write down your questions if you have any question based on this teaching so far, or if you have ever experienced any of these things that I just mentioned now. You can write it down. We have a lot of people here who will want to learn, okay? And there are so many of us who may not have the courage to ask questions, but they are ready to, hear others, read what others wrote, and learn from it. So if you have any question, please write your questions down. And while we are waiting for the questions, please help me to share this live, okay? Look down on your screen. You are going to see the share button, the arrow. You can click on that arrow, share it on your WhatsApp, share it on your Facebook. Just help me to share this live. A lot of people need to be here so that they will learn, more especially those who are spiritually gifted. Help me to share this live. And do not forget to like it. Double tap your screen. Double tap your screen. Just double tap your screen to like. Okay, that's the much you can do for me. Double tap your screen to like. And I'm waiting for your questions. Write down your questions. Please, write down your questions. Rita, you are welcome. Good evening. And thank you for joining. Write down your questions. Write down your questions if you have any. Thank you so much, Rita, for sharing this live. God bless you. And for those that has shared it earlier, thank you so much. God bless you all. For those liking it, thank you. God bless you. I'm still waiting for your questions. And I equally want to use this opportunity to let you all know that, okay, let me answer this question. Okay, Eze Sinachi, you said before, whatever you say always happens. But today is no more. What can you do? Doesn't mean that it has stopped completely. It doesn't mean that it has stopped completely. There must be an obstruction in your way of life that has stopped it. There must be an obstruction, and that obstruction is always a negative thing. Okay, it's always a negative thing. So all you need to do is to check your lifestyle. If there are things that you are now doing which you are not supposed to do, you stop it, because they don't go hand in hand. If there is something negative that you are doing now, it can never go hand in hand with that angel that will carry out that your word. If you are doing something negative and then you expect your word to come to pass, it will not come to pass. We are all sinners. I'm not talking about, we are all sinners. We sin every now and then. There are times, let me tell us, there are times when I'll be so angry. When I mean angry, I mean like mad, and then I will curse, I will thunder, I will roar, and everything I say that's at that time is just a waste. Even if I place a curse on somebody, even if I pray down heaven, nothing will ever happen. Yes, because I am not supposed to curse, I'm not supposed to thunder, I'm not supposed to roar. Okay, so there are things that pose as obstructions to these gifts. These gifts manifest with pure hearts. When your heart is pure, that is when it manifests. That is why I say when someone hurts you, more especially for those who always experience whenever they are in pain, anybody that hurts them will be in pain. When that thing happens to you, when somebody hurts you and you didn't retaliate, Because when you thunder and roar, you have retaliated. And everything you said as at that time will no longer happen. But when someone hurts you and you decide to keep it to your heart, you brought it, it's paining you, but you don't know how to voice it out. You don't know whom to talk to. And you keep everything into your heart. Meanwhile, your heart is actually carrying a heavy load. Whatsoever you have in your heart will eventually come to pass against that person. So, as a Sinachi, you will have to look at your lifestyle. Okay, curtail certain lifestyles. Curtail certain lifestyles that are posing as obstructions to that your wonderful gift. I'm still waiting for more questions. You are welcome. I'm waiting for more questions. Please write down your questions. A lot of people are going to learn through your questions. Please write down your questions. Don't be shy to write your questions down. We are all here to learn. We learn every day. Write down your questions. Okay, like I wanted to say something before Ezesinachi asked a question. I want to use this opportunity to let you guys know that tomorrow is my birthday. Yes, my birthday is, I've never celebrated my birthday. I don't know, I always mark it. I always mark my birthday. The most important thing to me is good health and life. That's the most important thing. But I just want to let you guys know that tomorrow is my birthday and I won't be coming up live tomorrow. Okay, I have to dedicate my time to my family tomorrow. So all I need from you is just to wish me a happy birthday. Pray for me, pray for good health, pray for longevity upon me, pray for God's blessings and guidance, okay? That the Spirit of God will not depart from me. That's the most important thing to me. That the Spirit of God will not depart from me. Whenever I go the wrong way, let him call me back. So I don't want him to abandon me. Honestly, I don't want him to abandon me. Whenever I do something wrong and apologize, let him forgive me and still call me back. I want to be with him. I want to work for him. I want to be in his presence. So this is my prayer request. Please pray that I still find favor with God and that this favor will never disappear. All right? So I'm still waiting for your questions. Write down your questions. Write down your questions if you have any. Please double tap your screen to like, please. Amen. Ezesinachi, amen. Amen to that prayer. Double tap your screen to like, please. Double tap your screen to like. It will not take anything away from you. It won't take your money away from you. Double tapping your screen will not take your money away. If you have the data to be on live, to be live tonight, I believe double tapping will not remove anything away from you, please. Double tap your screen to like. That like is so important to me. Ezeji, you always have a word drop in your heart and the thing always comes to pass. If it happens every now and then, all these spiritual gifts doesn't just happen once. They repeat from time to time. They repeat. If it happens every now and then, focus. Stay focused. When such words comes in, when that word is dropped inside your heart, hold on to that word. Know exactly what the word is all about and know how to handle it. Okay? Write down your questions. Write down your questions, please. I have a little time left. I have a little time left. But keep your questions coming. Keep your questions coming. Do not forget to like, please. Do not forget to like. Double tap your screen to like, please. And help me to share this live also. Share it. Share it. People always complain that they do not get notifications, but when you share, a lot of people will see it. Share this live, okay? Use your share button. Look down on your screen, you are going to see a share button. Thank you, Eze Sinachi. Thank you. That's the work of God. I'm still waiting for your questions. I'm still waiting for your questions, please. For those who are courageous enough to ask questions, please write down your questions. I know a lot of people have problems, but how to put it down is also a problem. You writing down your questions doesn't mean that everybody will now know who you are and what you are passing through. Even if they know what you are passing through, nobody is your God. Nobody is your God. When you write it down, nobody has the right to turn to you or to make fun of you. Write down your questions. Don't be shy. Write down your questions so that others will learn also. Ask me questions. Ask me questions. Okay, and in the absence of questions coming, I don't have any other choice but to end this live. Yeah, since I believe everybody understood every teaching that I gave so far. Okay, ZG, you joined the live when I was talking about the pain. Okay, that means you didn't hear the first and the second one. All right. Okay, let me brief it. The first one I talked about, whatsoever you have in your head coming to pass, your thoughts. Whenever you think of something, and it's not just you thinking of that thing like today, you think of it today, you think of it tomorrow, you think of it next tomorrow. Before you know it, it comes to pass. If you have ever experienced this in your life, you are spiritually gifted, because it's not everybody that will think and their thoughts will come to pass. A lot of people have been thinking right from childhood and up till now, not even one single of their thoughts has come to pass. But you have experienced that whenever you think, it will come to pass. You are spiritually gifted. Now, another one I just mentioned is about prayer. Everybody knows about this, that when you pray, heaven opens. When you pray, the doors open. When you pray, great things happen. If it happens to you every now and then, you are spiritually gifted. Yes. Do you know that for you to pray and heaven opens, you don't have to be a man of God. You don't have to be a woman of God. You don't have to be a pastor or a reverend father. No. If God has chosen you, if God has given you that gift, the moment you open your mouth to pray, the heavenly beings will be they will be at alert, waiting for you to say that which you want to say. And whatsoever you say, they will carry it out. It has nothing to do with you standing on the altar of God and preaching. It has nothing to do with that. There are so many people who do not go to church, but whenever they pray in their house, that request will be granted unto them. That is someone having that spiritual gift. I'm not saying that it's a criteria for people not to go to church, no, but I'm telling us the facts. A lot of people do not go to church, but whenever they pray, God hears, God answers, and their prayers will be granted unto them. So these are the two explanations that I gave earlier before you joined us, because the one about you being in pain is the third one. So I believe you heard the rest. Kelly, you are welcome, and thank you for joining us. So if you have any other question to ask before I end the live, please write down your questions. Write down your questions. And mind you, you having a spiritual gift is not because you are holy. I always say this. A lot of people always misunderstand this. You having a spiritual gift has nothing to do with holiness. If we can be honest, if you have ever noticed, right from the time immemorial, right from Bible. Check those whom God called from Bible. He didn't call anybody who was holy. None of them. Check all of them. There must have one queer character. There must be one rascal. There must be somebody with a bad reputation. But then these are the type of people that he will use, that he will choose to prove to the world that he can do all things. That he called you and he gave you the powers, he gave you the spiritual gift. It's not because you are holy. It has nothing to do with holiness. It is because he actually wants to use you to get more people. It is just like let me use this as an example. A woman who is a prostitute, who stays in the hotel, you know what she does every night, and then all of a sudden you see this woman, when she prays and lays hands on the sick and the sick will be healed. When she prays and does this, this will happen. Meanwhile, this woman patronizes a lot of men every night. A lot of people wonder how possible. It is possible because the person that gave her the gift is not man, it is God. God actually wants to use that gift to bring her closer to himself, so that she will be a weapon that God will use to gather more souls. Because when you see such a woman performing such miracle, you have no other choice but to turn and worship the God that that woman is that the God that the woman believes in, forgetting her lifestyle. Forgetting her lifestyle. Okay? So, okay, Ezechi, you say that you want to hear about the pain. The pain, what I said about the pain was, if you have ever noticed that whenever you are in pains, that someone actually hurt you so bad. When I mean so bad, I mean something that can bring out tears from your eyes. But you chose to remain silent. You didn't confront this person. You didn't retaliate. You remain silent, but deep inside your heart, you are hurting. Your heart is bleeding. Your heart is actually crying, but you didn't say anything. Whenever you are in this situation and you are spiritually gifted without knowing it, what will happen is that the guardian angel that has been positioned to stay with you will fight for you. And that is why you see someone who is like, it's mainly like between spouses, a husband and wife. If one of them is maltreating the other, before you know it, the one that is maltreating the other will start having problems. And people will tell him or her that it's your village people, is this your friend that is after you? Is because you did this, that is why. No. The problem is that the person maltreated someone that God has already chosen for himself. And your guardian angel is not happy with it. And your guardian angel decided to fight, because you cannot fight on your own, because you have chosen to remain silent, but your heart is not silent. Your body is silent, but your heart is actually crying unto God. And your heart is what your guardian angel is looking at. And the moment they see that your heart is bitter, that is when they fight for you. So that is what I mean by whenever you are in pain from someone hurting you, your prayers will be answered. Anything you have in mind as at that time against that person will always come to pass. Okay? So, Ami Gold, you are welcome and good evening. All right, I'm still waiting for your questions. I have 5 minutes left. I told us I'm not going to waste time tonight. Thank you, Ezeji. You're welcome. Please, I can take 1 or 2 questions before I end this live. 1 or 2 questions more before I end the live. Bring up your questions. Bring up your questions, please. And do not forget to double tap your screen to like. Double tap your screen to like, okay? That your like will go a long way for me. It will help me. It helps to grow my page. Thank you, Eze Sinachi. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so I will have to end this live. All right, I believe we understood everything correctly. So In your own time, when you are all alone, look inwards. Check yourself very well. You must have a spiritual gift. I know the gift is not given to everybody, but check yourself. Use all these things all these illustrations that I just gave out here. Use them as an example and check yourself to see if you're spiritually gifted. And then you learn how to make use of your gift. So I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. God bless you so much. For those who liked and those who shared, thank you. For those who gifted me, God bless you. And Ezeji, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. God bless you. And I'm going to see you some other time. Like I told us, I'm not going to come up live tomorrow. Tomorrow is my birthday. I will dedicate tomorrow to my family. Okay? So I want to thank everybody, and I pray that God in His infinite mercy will bless each and every one of us tonight and always. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you, Rita. God bless you for the gift. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and good night.